Welcome to This Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to have you here today because we're going to talk about something absolutely massive. You know, for nearly a century, the FIFA World Cup has completely captivated the entire globe. But we're going to look at it through a slightly different lens today. If you think the World Cup is just a football tournament, well, get ready to have your perspective shifted just a bit. This is actually the story of a century-long journey of global exploration. Seriously, it's been a massive catalyst for connecting countries, bridging different cultures, and mobilizing literally millions of fans. We are going to trace exactly how a single sporting event transformed the way we travel, share our cultures, and ultimately understand the world around us.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the contrast we're looking at here is just absolutely staggering. Think about the very first World Cup back in 1930. Notice the scope? It was just one city, Montevideo, and teams literally had to arrive by ship. It was a super localized event, physically speaking. Now, fast forward and look at the setup for 2026. We're talking about an event spread across 3 entire countries, with 48 different teams playing a whopping 104 matches. The logistical explosion from 1930 to 2026 is just hard to wrap your head around. I mean, how do we go from a humble little gathering in one South American city to a massive continent-spanning phenomenon? Well, let's break it down. Section 1. A single city beginning. I really want you to imagine the reality of this journey for a second. The year is 1930. Uruguay is hosting, right? There are no chartered jets, no massive international airport hubs for these athletes to breeze through. For the European teams, just getting to the tournament was this incredible, grueling adventure. Step 1, you pack your bags, round up your officials, and, oh yeah, pack the actual Jules Rimet Trophy. Step 2, you literally board a ship. These guys had to travel all the way across the Atlantic Ocean by boat. And then, step 3, after that incredibly long, arduous journey, you finally arrive in Montevideo, Uruguay. And unlike the sprawling modern tournaments we just mentioned, that whole 1930 competition happened right there, in just one city. But those early, challenging journeys, they were absolutely crucial because they helped turn football into a true worldwide phenomenon. Section 2. Trophies, dogs, and records. 174,000. Just take a second to visualize what a crowd of that size actually looks like. That is mind-boggling. Back in 1950, nearly 174,000 fans packed into the Maracanã Stadium in Brazil just for the final match. It remains this totally unforgettable moment in history, creating the largest official crowd the World Cup has ever seen. Just seeing that number alone proves how deeply this tournament was resonating with people. Fans were traveling in droves, gathering in numbers that are frankly kind of hard to comprehend, all just to witness this global spectacle. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer absurdity of the story. You know, as the World Cup grew, so did its crazy lore. Remember how teams carried the trophy across the ocean on a ship in 1930? Well, skip ahead to England in 1966. The highly prized Jules Rimet Trophy was actually stolen. It was a massive international scandal, but the day was miraculously saved. And no, not by some elite team of detectives. It was saved by a dog named Pickles. Pickles literally sniffed out and recovered the stolen trophy, completely cementing his place in history and giving us one of football's absolute most delightful, unusual moments. It's quirky, bizarre stories like this that give the tournament its enduring character.
So you're probably wondering what ultimately happened to that original trophy, the one that sailed the Atlantic and was rescued by Pickles. Well, the saga of the Jules Rimet Trophy comes to an end in 1970. That year, Brazil won the World Cup for a 3rd time. And because of that incredible achievement, Brazil actually earned the right to keep the original trophy permanently, which, of course, created a bit of a logistical headache for FIFA. They kind of needed a prize for the next tournament. So that historic victory directly led FIFA to introduce the modern World Cup trophy. Yes, the exact same iconic design that we all instantly recognize around the world today.
Section 3. Showcasing nations to the world. Follow along this timeline with me, because it really perfectly maps out the evolution of the World Cup's global impact. We start way back in 1930 with Uruguay setting the stage, right? Then we move through that unbelievable 1950 crowd record in Brazil, the 1966 trophy drama in England, and Brazil permanently claiming the original cup in 1970. But take a look at the more recent entries here: South Africa in 2010 and Brazil in 2014. By this era, the World Cup had fundamentally transformed how we view entire countries. Host nations realized they could use this mega event as a massive megaphone to showcase their culture, their vibrant cities, incredible food, and deep-rooted traditions to literally billions of viewers worldwide. When South Africa and Brazil hosted, it wasn't just about 90 minutes on a pitch. It was a carefully crafted broadcast of their national identity to the whole world. Every single tournament leaves this profound impact that extends way, way beyond the game itself.
Section 4. The ultimate global mega event.
And this brilliantly illustrates the complete journey we've been tracking today. Look at how far we've come from an era where a small group of teams sailed on a boat to one single city in 1930. Now, look at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is gearing up to be the biggest chapter in the sport's entire history. The scope has just exploded, from one city to 3 whole nations, the US, Canada, and Mexico. And the scale? It's jumped to 48 teams battling it out across 104 matches. What started as a small localized tournament in Montevideo has undeniably evolved into the absolute largest sporting travel event on planet Earth. The infrastructure, the travel logistics, and the cultural exchange needed to pull off 2026 are going to be completely unprecedented.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Where will football inspire you to explore next? We've seen firsthand how the World Cup connects countries, cultures, and millions of fans. It proves, without a doubt, that football doesn't just unite people through sport. It actively inspires us to get out there and explore the world. Whether that means learning about a brand new culture that's being broadcast right into your living room, or literally packing your own bags to travel to a host city, the legacy of this tournament is really one of endless discovery. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through history today. Keep learning and keep exploring.